Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am the Desert Claw, and it's time to get back to some Fire Force action. While you're here, smash the like button and leave a comment, and subscribe for more content. It really helps the growth of the channel, and it tells the YouTube bots to recommend me to other people. So, once again, anime-only viewers, spoilers are coming. So, I need to do a brief recap of the last two chapters because I was on vacation when they happened. So, the last two chapters were Vulcan and Giovanni based. Basically, Giovanni is the new Oogie Boogie. He is an insect farm. Vulcan was able to use some of his devices to change the magnetic field, which confused all his bugs, and Lisa was able to take him out, and only a very small part of Giovanni was left. But the problem is you got hit with an Adola bug and started to infernalize. So that's where we were. That's where that was left off. So this chapter, and just to remind people too, people ask me why I don't use as many scans anymore. It's just because the copyright bots, or whatever you want to call it, copyright trolls, they have been very aggressive against people who review manga or talk about manga. So I keep them to a minimal, only when I need to make points. So that's about it. Anime scans don't seem to be as aggressive. It seems to be worse if you use full motion video than using screenshots, but we'll see. But so anyway, the fight is continuing. Yu is still infernalizing, and Giovanni is not out of the game yet. He seems to have rallied his bugs again, and Vulcan is pleading with Lick to give him some kind of information on how to beat Giovanni. And with the magnetic question out of the way, Licht theorizes that they are like bees, and they're using a figure-8 pattern called a waggle dance to communicate the direction and the distance of things, like the food or threat. So that's how he's keeping things going. And Vulcan basically puts on his helmet and is able to program what he finds a bug, basically, and somehow is able to program the trajectory into his helmet. And then he goes and passes it off to Lisa, and then Lisa uses her firepower to basically take out all of those bugs. And it seems like the team has won. This is actually a fairly long chapter, so the fight, I'm not giving the fight justice. It doesn't just happen instantly. But once Giovanni goes down, he starts laughing. And this is a very similar moment to Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, or just the manga, not the original one, where Envy is at his most pathetic spot. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. There's something going on here that I think is more devious, but basically Giovanni's begging for help, and then he's squished by Vulcan because there's only one little bug part left of him. And then Yu has disappeared. Infernalized Yu has disappeared into the door, and he starts laughing maniacally. And it turns out that Giovanni has somehow transferred his consciousness into Yu. So Yu is, as a person, is no more. He's some sort of hybrid infernal bug Giovanni. Basically, Giovanni claims that with the bug's help, he was able to take over the body. And then he has the key in hand, and he says, I now hold the answer to Pi, and he's about to let the cataclysm begin. Okay? So, here's the most disturbing part about this. And a lot of people are theorizing this, but I think a lot of people are missing where this reference comes from. One of the things I like that maybe I'll make a separate channel someday, but I'm really into vintage horror, old horror. And the reason why I like old horror is because they had limitations back then. And those limitations, I think, make a far scarier story because you have to show less and you don't want like rubber monsters running around as much. Our horror now is very CG and very in your face, and it's just not, to me, is not as good. So let me get up the first screen. Here, Giovanni is saying, help me, and then Vulcan squishes him. And then we know that Giovanni has then survived into Yu. So, we'll see that here. He's now survived into you. What I think this is in reference to is the 1958 version of The Fly. There is a Jeff Goldblum remake that's from the 80s that is the same spirit but doesn't have the same outcome. So let me explain. The main character of The Fly is a scientist, and he makes a machine that lets him teleport basically from one pod to the other. An accident happens where a fly gets stuck in this teleporter, and their DNA is basically swapped. His human head and I think it's his left arm is missing and replaced by the fly head and the fly arm, and he's able to keep his mind. And then his real head and his arm is transferred to the fly. Now, in this version, the fly escapes, and a lot of the movie, they're trying to find that fly so they can reverse the process. What happens over time is that he does keep his conscious mind, but his mind slowly starts to turn into the instinct or of a fly. So he starts to slowly turn himself into a fly. And in the end, his girlfriend basically kills him under like a wood presser or something like that. I don't remember. The more disturbing part is later on, the girlfriend is tried in court for murder, and the lawyer that I think represented her later on sees the fly with the human head and the arm in the park in a spider's web about to be eaten by a spider, saying, "Help me, help me." Okay? It's really creepy. If you want to see it, just Google it. I think you could probably find it on YouTube. What happened in this story, in my opinion, is that the consciousness of the fly started to slowly go away, and it started to develop a human conscious and language. So, let's go back to Fire Force. I think Vulcan just killed you. I think Giovanni swapped out at the last minute. It took a gestation time for his bugs to take over that body, and Vulcan just killed his friend and his ward, his apprentice. And if this is true, this might not be nothing. This could be nothing. This may not have happened. But my theory is Fire Force. Okubo, his stories start out very silly, and then they start to get seriouser and seriouser, more seriouser. I don't even think that's a word. They get more serious over time, and things are beginning really dark in Fire Force. And I actually think this just happened. Now, I think it would be best for the author maybe not to tell us that. Let us just have that stuck in our mind. But if we do find out that Vulcan killed you, I would not be surprised. I don't think you would have Giovanni, as a diabolical genius as he is, screaming for his life, knowing that in the next room he's fine. That is my take on this. What sucks, because you as a character has been really underused. I could give a crap less about him, which lowers the impact on that. This is true. Like, he kind of got abused back in there, and he got shot by Giovanni, but then he was nowhere to be seen for so long. He doesn't have the screen time. You care more about Lisa than you care about him, because she has more of a backstory and stuff like that. Maybe if it's true that Vulcan just killed you, like if Giovanni just says, "You just killed your friend," and then there's like a flashback to you that gives us a little bit more reason to care, then yeah, this is going to be very impactful. But we won't know till next chapter. And the reason why this took me so long to review this is I couldn't get it out of my mind where I'd seen this reference before, and I had to go do some hunting online, and I found it. So tell me what you guys think about my theory. Is this related to that old movie, not the Jeff Goldblum one, because it ends very differently? But you let me know. Okubo is very much a fan of Western culture, so I think it would be very possible that he's seen that movie. So you all tell me. New chapter coming soon. Trying to get that back to Wednesdays. This one was late because I had to do more research, and I just wanted to do it justice on this theory. So yeah, well, hope you all have a good one, and like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.